you start out with Fox Farm Ocean Forest Soya and not adding any additional amendments. So at what point do you add in amendments? Because eventually that's going to deplete, right? Did you say the 30, 40-day mark?
Right. From me using it just by experience, because I've only been growing. Next month is going to be 4 years that I've been growing, but I already have over 50 harvests under my belt. I was doing 10, 12, 15 at a time. That's how on my channel, the Seed to Harvest videos, which people usually know me by, as far as that channel, there's already like 38 Seed to Harvest videos on there. And plus, I haven't recorded every grow that I've done. So in 4 years, I've done over 50 grows. And the way that I do it is straight out of the bag, Fox Farm, Ocean Forest. This is when I'm using soil. And then on the calendar, on day 28, we're doing dry amendments. And for me, I'm using down to earth dry amendments. I know a lot of people like Gaia Green. I never heard of Gaia Green until Mr. Goodness Grow. And then when I wanted to get Gaia Green, it wasn't available in the US. It is now, but I use down to earth. And worm castings, 444, 484, Durham Bloom, super simple. And I was in the Army, and we have a method in the Army called KISS. It's really keep it simple, stupid, but people all PC, you can't say stupid now. So it's keep it simple, soldier. And the point of that is the minimum that you can do to get the job done and get a great result. We're trying to be as efficient as possible. So worm castings, all-purpose vegetable garden, that'll be just fine. And then once you get to flower, add the 484 in there, and that's it. Super and water. That's it.
We have a lot of people here that tune in and they take notes and they want to emulate what some of the guests do. Can you give us specifics on how much down to earth 444 you're giving the plant and worm castings on the first feeding versus the second feeding and so on and so forth?
Yes. It really depends on which pot I'm using, because either I'm using the 3.9 or the 6.6 usually, but just recently, like I said, I did those 9-gallon pots. So it's my first time using like the big 9 gallons, but it's really simple. I'm not even changing it. 1 cup of worm castings, 1 cup of vegetable garden. That's it. If it's a 3.9 gallon, I'll do half a cup. If it's 6.6, a full cup. If it's the 9 or above, I was doing a little bit over a cup, out of a cup and a quarter, something like that. And that's it. I didn't change it I do it every 4 weeks, unless sometimes the yellow one starts coming in the plants. And so you can obviously see that they're going to need some food before it's time. So sometimes I might do a week early, but I try to do every 4 weeks, but sometimes it's every 3 weeks. 1 cup. And I don't even change it throughout the next time that it's usually only going to be 2 times. Because the first 30 days, you're good to go. The next 28 days, you're going to be getting ready for flower. And then you're going to do it 1 time in the flower, because it's usually 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, somewhere in that area. So you only do it 1 time in flower as well. And I do the same thing, 1 cup, half a cup if it's 3.9, 1 cup if it's 6.6, 1 1/4 if it's a bigger pot than that. Super simple.
Okay, so the 444 you're only using when the plants are in veg, and then when you go to flower, you're taking out the 444.
No, I'm sorry.
484.
No, I'm sorry. I use that too. So it's worm castings, 1 cup, 484, 444 vegetable garden, and then I add 484 whenever it's in flower.
Flower only.
Right, just flower only is when I use the 484.
Okay, is that the top dressing right before flower?
Right, so I do because I'm not gonna say usually, but lately I've been doing 2 months of veg. So the first 30 days they got covered by what's in the bag. Then I do the dry amendments. Then they go another month. Then I do the dry amendments. Whenever I do the dry amendments, this time whenever I flip them into flower, that's when I add the 484, and then they get 1 more time in flower. The same thing, 484, and then that's it. Because usually it's 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks until you harvest. Sometimes, I had some auto flowers that went 11 or 12 weeks. That was crazy though.
This clip was brought to you by AC Infinity. Use discount code MrGrowit15 to save on any of their gardening products.